Hey guys, this is Steve and you're watching a little video weblog that I've put together about our challenge number 3 and the mix that I've titled Music for Your Tape Recorder. What you're looking at on the screen are the VU meters and spectrum analyzer of a JVC KDD50 cassette deck. This is the exact model cassette deck I had in 1984. I spent a summer mowing lawns to buy it, and I made so many tapes with it, so many mixtapes, compilation tapes, that I wore it out halfway through college. Last week I bought a new one on eBay for $14.99. It's in good shape. I still have the manual for my old one. So what you're looking at is something that I used to see all the time, usually in the dark, usually in the middle of the night when I was making cassette tapes for friends or for myself. I put 12 tunes on this and started off with Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, a tune called This Is Helena. And the first words are Music for Your Tape Recorder. Really love this record, Dazzle Ships. It doesn't sound anything like the other OMD records. It's my favorite OMD record. And I didn't even know what Dazzle Ships were until recently. My son has an interest in the Titanic, and Dazzle Ships refers to a kind of paint job given to Navy ships back during World War I, World War II. They would paint them with all kinds of crazy lines and colors to confuse other ships. The second tune is Our Everything by the Buzzcocks. It took me a long time to find this on MP3. I only found it a few years ago. It was on a cool EP that I bought, which was a collection of Buzzcocks singles. I really like it. It's a song that doesn't have a verse or a chorus, just one hook that goes over and over again. There's another one of those here on the mix, but I love the Buzzcocks, and for a long time this was a lost track. I couldn't find it because I'd lost the vinyl, and now it's back. I found it on MP3. The third track is Do It Clean by Echo and the Bunnymen. I really, really love the two records by Echo and the Bunnymen, Crocodiles and Porcupine. Those are really my two favorite. I saw them a few times when they came through Detroit. None of the stuff they did later was I didn't connect with it as much. This really sounds like early Echo and the Bunnymen, and I do like their later sound, but this is the sound I really, really like. Track 4 is a tune called Went Crazy by the Teardrop Explodes. This is one of my favorite records, and I have not been able to find it on CD or MP3, so this is actually converted from vinyl. It sounds really good, I think. I converted it on my own computer. It's from Kilimanjaro, which came out in 1980. I love this tune, and I just recently found an MP3 of them doing it live on the Peel sessions on BBC Radio, and that's a very cool version too. But this is the record version that I remember from when I was 16. Track 5 is The Love Parade by the Undertones, and it's kind of ironic to me that a punk band from Northern Ireland would turn me on again to Motown. The Undertones had this great Motown vibe happening. Feargal Sharkey is such an incredible vocalist. Nobody sings like this guy. This is an EP that I actually purchased. EPs are something that I have fond memories of. I liked buying records, but my favorite thing was to buy an import. They always had this really crinkly cellophane on them. The EPs were 12-inch records that you played at 45 RPMs, and they only had a few songs on them, and they were almost always imports. And because they were imported and nobody had them, I always thought they were really cool. Track 6 is Aloysius by the Cocteau Twins. The record Treasure is the one I think most people have. I bought a bunch of EPs of the Cocteau Twins that I still have. The one thing that we are really missing in the CD MP3 age is the beautiful album art that would come out with records back a long time ago. It's getting to be a long time ago. The 4AD label from England did absolutely gorgeous cover art, and so I still have a few of those Cocteau Twins EPs. The 7th tune is New Era by the Specials. It was hard to select a Specials tune. I almost selected the tune Nightclub, which I played in the car all the time when I was driving around. New Era kind of resonates with how I felt about this music, even though this is one of the older tracks on the record. Elvis Costello produced this record by the Specials, specials. And here's another little piece of vinyl record lore. This LP came with a little insert that said, if you want the lyrics, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to this address. And it was an address somewhere in California, and so I did that and got a lyrics sheet. I think I have the record still, but I don't think I have the lyrics sheet. Track number 8 is Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. I love the early Smiths, the very early Smiths, and everything that came out on Hatful of Hollow in the year 1984. This is the first track by the Smiths that really got my attention. Track number 9 is the tune Digital by Joy Division. Digital doesn't appear on either of the 2 studio records that Joy Division recorded before Ian Curtis's death. Came out on a big double album set called Still. I never owned a copy of Still. This recording was on the back of a picture disc. Again, that's another thing that we don't have anymore. They used to print vinyl with all kinds of crazy designs on it, and I remember I bought a bootleg copy of this recording on one side. It was a 12-inch, and the other side was a really crappy interview with Ian Curtis. You couldn't hear anything he was saying. The vinyl had a picture pressed into it as a picture of Ian Curtis's face. I think I sold that at a record shop or something like that a long time ago. Track 10 is Harbor Coat by REM. That's off the Reckoning album. That album was really, really, really important for me. I loved every song on that, including Don't Go Back to Rockville, which reminded me that country is cool if you do it right. Harbor Coat just sort of felt like my life back then. I loved the sound. It's just a great, great sound. Song 11 is Another Nail in My Heart by Squeeze. One of the first British import records I bought when this is before I had a driver license. I had to beg my mom to take me to Solo Records in Birmingham, or there was another independent record shop in Royal Oak, or down to Sam's Jams in Ferndale. It was really special if I could go down there, because, I don't know, nobody wanted to take me down there. When I got my driver license, we would always go down to 9 Mile in Ferndale and shop at Sam's Jams. Another Nail in My Heart is on the Squeeze record, Argy Bargy. I think that's how you say it. At any rate, I loved every tune on that record and played it to death. And the last one is Radios in Motion by XTC. There was a radio program in the early 80s called Radios in Motion. The DJ was a guy named Mike Halloran, and I just started listening to that when he canceled the radio show and took off to California, I think, where he still is doing freeform radio out in San Diego, I think. I learned a lot about this music on public radio. My public radio station was WDET 101.9 FM in Detroit, and after Mike Halloran left and Radios in Motion closed down, a guy named Martin Bandyke started a program called Dimension, a weekly show about British cool new music. I still have some tapes that I made of those radio shows, but Radios in Motion kind of signals this sitting in my little bedroom, tuning into this stuff that's very new. Troy was a really antiseptic place to grow up. I tell people it was like growing up on a sheet of graph paper, sitting in my room, taping the tracks off the radio, making little notes about what I liked and what I didn't like, and then taking these little pilgrimages to places like Solo Records and Sam's Jams and buying used vinyl and British imports. It was a real important time of my life. I sat up late looking at these lights that you see going up and down for a long time. So this whole mixtape community thing really takes me back, and it's a lot of fun. And so that's my challenge number 3 mix. It's called Music for Your Tape Recorder, as seen on my tape recorder from when I was 16.
That it's extremely